hanging in there with me. I appreciate you. So just to wrap up where we were at in the last segment, I kind of told you my story, my background of my life at my heaviest. So just to pick up where I was at, I started to do then some research after I learned to identify myself as an addict and food as my drug of choice. I started to do some research on the act of and life of discipline. And that word became pretty centralized in my life with being successful. I think that the achievement of success is definitely synonymous with discipline. So I think that goals and discipline have a bridge, and then the end game is your accomplishment. So you have goals here, accomplishment here. Discipline is what gets you from point A to point B. Motivation is the spark that ignites everything, that gets you excited to make some changes in your life and all of this. However, motivation will wane. It will be super strong and then it kind of dies off, much like our resolutions, right? How I just thinking of my own, I was with all the things I wanted to do for 2020. For me, I just kept telling myself 2020 comes with a new energy. This is the turning of a decade. And I don't remember, 2000, like a little bit of when we turned for the millennium. 2010 wasn't a big deal to me. I think I was too young to kind of understand that. But 2020 came with, pun intended, some heavy weight. And I was really excited for the new year to switch over. And my husband and I were going to Vegas to see my mom and the rest of my family. And we were going to wait until the 6th when we came back from Vegas to jump back on and be disciplined again. But we decided together that we were not going to wait anymore, that the time is now and you pull the trigger and here we go. So we were in Vegas and had to be on diet. And that doesn't mean that we didn't indulge and drink some. We did. However, that trip was different and food was not my main focus, which when I travel, I am all about the food. I am Googling the restaurants before, even now, I am Googling the restaurants that we can go to and what I'm going to order and all this stuff. I think I will always be a recovering addict of food and the stronghold that it always had on my life. A woman told me on a post that I had on Instagram one time, your story is our story. You're just holding the torch. And that really spoke to me and added a level of accountability that at the time, I don't know if I was really ready for it. But sitting here now and being able to talk to people that I know and people that I don't know, all of this, all of my journey, every single hurt I've ever been through, all the hard times, the depression, the sadness and self-loathing, all of it is worth it in this minute and right now. With me sitting here and talking to you and you listening, it is so personal, just like all of our journeys are. And all of this is worth it. If I just am able to reach one person, that you can climb out of this cage of depression. It truly is a prison when you are so unhappy. And I'm really excited to show you and be an example that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm nowhere near done. I don't think that when you switch your mindset over into improvements that you're ever done. I want to be a faster athlete. I want to be a stronger athlete. I want to broaden my scope. I want to be a swimmer and, I want to be able to bike and run. And by the way, running my first 5K with my husband this weekend. I'm nervous and excited. It'll be the rock and roll marathon. And, I think it's just the weight loss has given me a life that I feel like I was always destined to have. But being in the prison of being so overweight, it truly holds you back. I didn't fly on an airplane for a really long time because I was too embarrassed to ask for a seatbelt extender. Now, one of those non-scale victories is that I don't have to use a seatbelt extender. The first time it happened, I don't even remember where I was flying to or from, but I didn't have to, and the seatbelt barely clicked, but it clicked, and I just sat with tears rolling down my face, and I was so excited that had happened, and this is such a cool journey to be able to share with people, and in the way of social media, it has. Sometimes it has such a negative connotation and a negativity attached to it. However, in moments like this and in stories like I'm a part of and like people have made me a part of, there's so much beauty in the fact of being able to reach and connect with people all over the country that are also struggling, that are also in this fight. And I don't know about you, but I don't want feedback from anybody that is not also in the arena, right in there, getting their ass kicked just like I am every single day. Every single day is a conscious decision to make the right choices. And this applies to every aspect and every facet of my life, and it should to yours too. This goes back to the self-discipline, and it starts with the mastery of your thoughts. If you can't control your thoughts, how are you supposed to control your actions? The thought is the spark that moves the action. We are so compelled by feelings. We do everything because we feel a certain way about something. People have moved across the country because they feel a certain way about a place or a person. Wars are started because of these feelings. You take the feeling and you move it to an action. So I want to challenge you, if you are struggling, to really, really evaluate your feelings first. Rather than what you're doing, get down to the root of your feeling. I'm sure you've heard it said before that anger is a secondary emotion. Usually it is fear that manifests into anger. When you dissect the root of what you're truly feeling, that's when you are able to deal with the issues that you're having in your life so that you can deal with them, heal from them, and then move on and start making the right actions after that. Stuff like this, big changes in your life, take a massive action too. It is a complete lifestyle change with any decision that you really radically choose to change your life with. The details matter. Your every single day matters. And that's because we write our own internal contracts every single day. And then it becomes habitual. So the more you say no to a cookie, the more you're going to say no to a cookie. The more you say, yes, I'm getting my ass to the gym, the more you'll get your butt to the gym. All of these things become habit. The more you enforce these internal contracts, the stronger that they're going to be. So that when you're out with friends and everybody is having pizza and you really want the pizza, you have the strength to say no. Our thoughts control our behaviors. So check your thoughts the next time that you are in a compromising situation, whatever it may be. Check your thoughts. Are you scared? Are you acting out of fear? Or are you acting out of love for yourself? True self-love is not chocolates and taking bubble baths. True self-love is being able to control your emotions and your feelings and act in a way that honors who you are. I talk about that with my 8-year-old daughter all the time. I used to be a yelling parent, admitted. I used to be a yelling parent. And all it did was make her feel bad. It didn't really teach her a lesson. So I changed the way that I spoke to her. And now it is, young lady, are you acting in a way that honors who you are as a person? And she will evaluate her little 8-year-old self and say, no, mom, or yes, mom. And both of those answers come with strong conviction, But I think if we are gentle to ourselves and say, does this honor who I am? Does this honor my end goal? We're going to talk a lot about that in my next show, next Monday. But does this actually help me reach my end goal? If it does not, it doesn't serve you, and drop it. Drop that thought. We have to start retraining our brains in a way that creates positive pathways to connect our feelings and our actions. First step is if you are having a negative thought, which granted I have them every single day, every single morning I get up in the mirror and weigh myself, there is an initial negative thought. You can create a habit though of shutting that thought down by saying no. I started doing that by saying no out loud. Made me look a little crazy, but I started saying no out loud. Those thoughts are no longer part of my vocabulary. Those words cannot exist because my goals are too big. My example and my influence to my daughter is too big, is too important. These things help me reach my end goal. We have to reroute our thought process. Start putting in resources, or tapping into your resources. My biggest one was books and being able to talk to people, but tap into your resources. And it's one thing to read something and then regurgitate the information without understanding it properly. It's another to read something, connect with it, and put it into application. So from the reading, it's in your head as a thought, to application equals the action. That's when you can create these new patterns of behavior. That's when a new lifestyle will take place. I'm typically pretty hesitant about talking about my diet and my everyday just because I feel like that journey is so personal. I've spent so much time researching what works for my body that it might not work for somebody else. I do believe, though, however, that whatever diet you decide to do, commit to. That is your key to success, is consistency. Or if it's not even diet, whatever change you're trying to implement in your life, even if it's just getting to the gym more often, or stop yelling as a parent. All of these things take massive action to do and to put into application. You have to make these type of changes habitual. So, when you are running through these scenarios in your head and kind of prepping through the day, which I encourage you to do, what am I going to run into? So that you can kind of plan if something goes awry, you're not so surprised and thrown off track by it. But when you are in the throes of your thought process and planning for the day, how are you going to handle things when, when you're given a problem? Expect these things to happen. There is going to be road bumps. There's going to be huge, massive setbacks. If I could tell you how many times I've plateaued during my weight loss journey, it would take the rest of this show to tell you how many times I have stopped losing weight to get discouraged. And then that starts another cycle. If you are struggling with weight loss and hitting a plateau, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But where I'm at now, I'm able to stop those thoughts, reroute, and get back on track. So I want you to keep listening. I've got some really, really fun stuff to talk about in my next segment. And I hope you guys are having a great night. Grab some tea or some coffee, and we'll talk to you soon.